This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
You are what you watch.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Talk to Harry. Ladies and gentlemen, what do we do when integrity has gone out the window? In this specific case, let's talk about Department of Justice Laila de Lima. The accuser and the accused, of course, the three now that have been submitted with the Sandigan Bayan. Sino ba sa kanilang dalawa ang posisyon ang may integridad? Yung isa may sex tapes daw, yun nasabi ni Sandra Cam. Yung isa naman sabi, hindi daw totoo kasi selective nangyayari sa gobyerno. Tama nga naman eh. But again, let's take it a little further. We are supposed to be the rock star of Asia. We're supposed to be doing 7.2. Now we're down to 5.9 in spite of all of this. We are supposedly the rock star in Asia next to China. But how do you believe, how can the people say you are, or we are the rock star, when the price of rice keeps going higher, as of late, it's even garlic and onions. What do we do about the traffic, the potholes, the poor conditions of the roads, the MRT that keeps breaking down, and let's see, the DOTC, whose contracts are all falling apart? It seems the integrity of the accuser, the accused, both sides. A game is being played with media telling us all, binibilog po ang ulo natin lahat, na ang galing po ng takbo ng Pilipinas. Ang galing po ba talaga? Kasi pag tinatanong ko yung mga taong bayan, yung wala naman talagang kinikita, I begin to think otherwise. The word is selective, correct. The word is not real. It's called selective memory and truths that are promoted by media to make you and I realize and think that we are doing well. In this protectionist trade, of course, our oligarchs are becoming billionaires. That we know as truth. Kasi po yan, nakalabas yan sa Forbes list ng mga billionaires, padami ng padami. The protectionist trade to protect the oligarchs, to maintain their monies, if not to promote even more, rather than to open up and to delve in what you call a more global community. The problem is, in our country, until we begin to identify the real truth, until the people have what you call the right to go to court, wherein the courts don't take centuries to resolve anything. Can you just imagine itong tatlong senador? I mean, come on, let's face it, mayayaman mga yan eh. How long do you think, assuming they are, that the Sandigan Bayan even begin to work on it? Alam nyo, ako, I make a bet, 1 century. No, maybe I'm being too aggressive. 2 centuries. So meaning in 2520, baka sakali may resolution na. Yung mga judge, baka sakali gumawa na ng decision. Alam mo naman dito how difficult it is to make resolutions, to make judgments. But let's not go there. You know what we're going to do in this show? The title is Enough is Enough. Parang gusto ko kumanta. Enough is enough. Kasi sumosobra na. Parang ganun eh. Ladies and gentlemen, with our guest to promote even the realities of what's really going on, and he's had enough, and it's just enough. We have Chang, who's a nationalist. He's been in our show so many times. And we have attorney Manny who promotes and advocates rule of law. But wait, meron ba rule of law? attorney? Meron ba, Johnny? Parang moniker na lang. Wala na, hindi na pwede, no? Parang gano'n.
Selective pa rin.
Selective. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Attorney Luna with us because he, on behalf of Greco Bellica, et al., there's about 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken. Quintin also is there, San Diego, with the group MAD Against Dynasty, and another group, no? Kayo na rin ata kasali dyan, no? Mr. Chang, oo. So, you filed a petition which has been writ of mandamus, which has been forwarded and submitted to the Supreme Court. Well, alam naman natin where that's gonna go. I don't know, but at least the effort is there para to pay back yung mga perang nanakaw, assuming nanakaw nga, called the PDAF. And as Johnny Chang mentioned to me before we entered into the show, paano yung pera sa Manampaya? Because na-identify nyo lang 6.2 billion, correct?
156.
156, a billion.
6.156 billion.
6.156. So 6 billion plus,
Yes.
all in all. Sabi ni Mr. Chang, 150 na nga nawawala. But let's start with you, Attorney Luna. Ano yung final niyo, writ of mandamus? At anong gusto niyo mangyari? Tapos, ano tingin nyo mangyayari? Kasi doon naman kami papasok na critics. But go ahead, Attorney.
I confirm that last Friday,
Opo.
yung grupo ni dating Councilor, Manila Councilor Belhica and company filed a petition for mandamus with the Supreme Court. And I stand as their counsel doon sa kaso na yon. And if you look at certain events in the past, like the release of the special COA audit report in August 2013 and the oral arguments doon sa pork barrel system cases filed by Belhica et al. Also, yun ang parang nagbigay sa amin ng rason why we should file this kind of petition with the Supreme Court.
Maybe it's easier if explain mo yung writ of mandamus. This is not, ladies and gentlemen, a writ of mandamus orders the court to do a specific task. It is not just a complaint wherein magrereklamo ka and then you expect the court to act on it and make resolution against it. Ang writ of mandamus, it's, maybe you can explain that better.
It's an extraordinary order issued by a court. Not necessarily by the Supreme Court, but any
court.
Court for that matter.
Ordering
a person, an officer, tribunal, court, or even a board, which or who neglected an imperative duty, especially a public duty at that.
In this case, it's the COA together with the congressmen, the senators, those who benefited supposedly from the PDAF, correct?
The parties are the COA, the chairman
COA.
of the COA, and the director of the Special
Pulido
Audit
Tan,
Office.
you mean?
Yes, and the chairman of COA and the director of the Special Audits Office of COA. Now, the lawmakers and the public officers and others who have been named there are only, shall we say, objects of the writ of mandamus.
Bakit COA po? Attorney, ba't ang COA natira?
Because the COA was the one who conducted the special audit on the PDAF.
So based on that audit, based on the report, kasi lumabas na, dyan eh.
Yes.
Habulin nyo ngayon to and let's get a refund on this money. Ang gusto mo.
Yes.
Yun ang...
Because COA did not do it. COA did not issue the notices of disallowance to cover the amount of 6.156 billion of disallowed funds, which are PDAF funds from 2007 to 2009.
Johnny, anong pag-alam natin sa COA? Di ba parang audit yan, ng government audit yan ng mga people in government service?
You audit everything.
You audit everything?
Bago mo i-release yung check, dapat ino-audit mo yan.
Pero role ba nila na...
Then, nung araw is pre-audit. Pag upo ni Marcos, ginawa niyang post-audit. Hindi problema yung post-audit eh. Di ba, negosyante, kunyari, bumili isang kotse. Bago ko i-release yung check ko, dapat nakita ko yung kotse.
Correct.
Okay, may
Checkin
gusto
mo yung kotse.
gagawa sa project na magtatayo ng tulay. Bago ko i-release yung check, nakikita ko yung tulay. Okay?
Ayun, baliktad.
Ngayon, di problema yun eh. Bago mo i-release pa rin yung check, you see after the effect of releasing check, you see that project has been finished.
So pre-audit. Ito post-audit ngayon.
Post-audit ngayon. So makikita mo, ang laking kasalanan nila eh. Ang laking kasalanan DOF, DBM, COA. Bakit? Binigay kitang 100 million, magtatayo ka let's say, isang tulay. Di mo binalikan. Nawala yung tulay, lahat nawala, pati project nawala. Di ba kasalanan mo yon? Di ba?
So, responsibilidad is the COA, and your writ, you want the court to go after them for COA to pay back the money?
No. For COA to do its job under the Constitution,
Which is?
to issue the notices of disallowance for that amount of 6.156 billion so that those lawmakers, public
Pero
officers,
nakuha na yung pera,
NGOs, and their officers will return or refund these amounts.
Pero nakuha na nila yung pera, nawaldas na nga.
But that's a remedy available to COA to recover what they have allegedly misused.
So you're saying it is the fault of COA in this specific case?
Yes, it's
There-
really the fault of COA.
There we go, the accuser and the accused.
Oh, tama.
Ayan na naman,
Oh.
the same situation. Sige, go
Yes.
ahead.
If I may walk you through, there was an oral argument sometime in October 2003 wherein the COA chairman herself assured the Supreme Court in the pork barrel cases that COA will start issuing thousands and thousands, those are her words,
Yes.
thousands and thousands of notices of disallowance for this disallowed amount of 6.156 billion. But unfortunately, and despite the follow-up made by petitioner Belhica to a letter, she did not act on this request, nor perform her public duty of directing or causing her subalterns or auditors who conducted the special audit to issue the notices of disallowance. That's why we filed this case before the Supreme Court.
Do you feel it is negligence? Do you feel it is ignorance? Do you feel it is with interest and intent that this is the way things turned out? Obviously with intent.
Our theory is that this is obviously unlawful neglect of duty, which
So it don't matter. Unlawful neglect. You're guilty.
yes, this is unlawful neglect because from August to today, more than 10 months had passed, and yet no notices of disallowance were ever issued by COA. So what's the problem? The audit report is there. All the documents are in their possession. They have negative findings on the PDAF from 2007 to 2009.
It's all NATO.
Yes, but what's keeping them from issuing the notices of disallowance so that the process of recovering this huge amount, billions of pesos, may start? So this is for the COA to answer.
No talk, NATO. No action, talk only. It seems it's like Napoles. In the last 11 months since lumabas siya sa dyaryo, naririnig na natin, nakikita na natin. Nagalit na yung taong bayan, nagmarcha na sa Luneta. Pero hanggang ngayon, si Napoles ay nakakapunta sa ospital, pero may special treatment. Bakit kaya? Ang tinira ay ang Senado na may mandato ng tao. Pero yung dapat na ikulong, na iwan sa kulungan, nabigyan ng special pribileyo. Bakit kaya? Ladies and gentlemen, we have to take a station break. Like the heat outside, like the storms that come and go, we shudder with the news that we talk about. We'll be right back.